Step into the vibe, let's go. We legit. It's beyond the edit. We talk real, no script. Lights on, truth drops. Yeah, we never quit. Turn it up, turn it up. This is beyond the edit.
Hello, family, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Edit. I am your host, Sarah Talks. I have a very special guest for you today. She's a fan of essential oils, meditation, and the back door. Please welcome Kaitlyn Herman.
First of all, your intro song, unreal.
Oh, do you love it?
This is Beyond the Edit. I'm obsessed with that. That was so. It was really good.
Thanks. How are you? I'm so glad. We've been mutuals for years, so I'm really glad that we're finally getting the chance to talk. How have you been?
I've been so good. I feel the same way. I was telling you a little bit before, I'm glad that you're doing this. You have such a good presence online and you love this world so much. And I find that I know, and through experience, that you are one of the respectful ones on the internet. And I appreciate that very much because that's lacking in the commentary community. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you. Yeah, I noticed pretty quickly. I actually covered your season, not on TikTok. I hadn't made it over to this side yet, but with your season, I was on Jokers. I was doing Jokers updates, and the BB Twitter streets were absolutely insane. It's very toxic, but I will say that while covering your season, I loved your energy. But where I really fell in love with you was actually because of your response to the toxic fan base, the negativity that you came out to, and how you laughed at yourself, embraced it, and you kind of took the wind out of their sails because you took the joke from them. You took the punchline.
100%. That was people I remember seeing online when I first got off the show. People were concerned. Everyone talked their shit before I got off, but then when it got real and people started to realize, oh, she's gonna get her phone back, saw a lot of stuff about she's gonna herself and she's gonna be really upset when she sees all this stuff, she's gonna go into hiding. And my friends and family, they knew. They were absolutely not doing any of those things. She's gonna see it and be like, true, by the way, it's very true. And it's the greatest gift of my life to this point, honestly, going on that show, because you didn't have to tell me thank God I had the framework, by the way, of being a very spiritual person in advance. But the second I opened that door to leave, it's you walk through this invisible energy and you're like, oh, right. You guys in the audience, you're humans, I'm a human. That wasn't real. That was really bad. Everything I did in there let me maybe try to grow. What just happened? But yeah, I too am, out of all of the things from the show, extremely proud of the way that I guess handled coming off. And I think that was a testament to my strength prior to the show. It just really didn't affect me what people were saying. I knew what needed to change.
It's very, very rare. It's absolutely very rare.
Yeah, I know.
So it was refreshing.
Most people end up doubling down, and it's kind of weird, to be honest. When they come off and they try to defend all the things that they did, and it's no, that's not it.
Your family's still on the West Coast or the East Coast, right?
On the East Coast, yeah. They're in New York. They're exactly where I grew up.
Then you are West Coast now.
Yes, I've lived in.
What do you miss the most?
Honestly, just my people. That's what I miss the most. The fact that all of my best friends from growing up, we're all still best friends, and everyone's there, and everyone's starting to have babies, and my parents and my brother, just being able to be so close to the people I love so much. I'd say that. And then also I especially on Long Island, I like how close everything is. I guess in LA, everything's 20, 30 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
But I like that you could take the train to the city. I like that you can be places that give you a different vibe really quickly. And yeah, but aside from that, really not much.
I go to LA. I travel a lot for work, and LA
Yeah.
and New York are the two spots I'm in the most. The vibe is completely different. I'm in Texas. I'm
Oh,
in Dallas, so completely different from both of those. But I'm in LA at least 2 or 3 times a year, and in New York about five.
have you ever spent time on the west side in LA? Like Venice,
No,
Monica? I mean, are you a beach
no,
person?
no.
Okay, so
I feel like I'm an East Coast beach person. I like East Coast beaches. I like a light. I like a beach I can wear a sweater on.
oh, that's
Yeah.
this.
Oh, okay.
And
When I hear
especially
beach, I think like hot sand and like the okay.
it's
Okay.
February. I'm going to the beach tonight actually with my boyfriend. We do like sunsets all the time, but like I'm in sweats. Like it is freezing. It's freezing. But also like I think you should go to Malibu the next time you're here because Malibu is like the perfect vibe of like you're getting the LA chill surfer vibe, but also with a hint of like luxury and also
Mm.
like the mountains and the beach. Like it is like the most beautiful place to be ever, especially if you need like a break and like a minute to just like out of WeHo for a second. Like it might be sensory overload. Like it's we have to go. I'll take you.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds like a plan. I do want to talk before we are going to talk about Big Brother obviously, but I don't where's your relationship with reality television in general right now? What are
I
you
it's
keeping
gone
up
through
with? And
yeah, it's gone through waves since I got off the show, which was it was in 2018. Now that's like 8 years ago. There have been times where it's really hard for me to watch, and I just don't feel like I'm at that place to be absorbing that. Um, but the current state I'm in is deeper than ever before in a way, but I'm diving into shows that I've never dived into. The hardest thing to admit is that I've taken a huge infatuation with TLC, the Learning Channel,
got
and
it.
that's really dark for me. It's something that I'm not proud of, yet I feel so passionate about. The 90 Day Fiance conglomerate as a whole is genius, amazing, smart, beautiful, stunning, and it makes me excited to be alive. And although there's so much that's fake and I know half of it's storyline and not real, I love it. I had to stop
Yeah.
with turning Amish or suddenly
Yeah.
I said, Caitlin, enough is enough. Like when we're getting into incest, I think it's time to turn off the TV. But TLC, having a really good time with TLC right now. Yeah.
I saw that they brought back My Strange Addiction, and I made the like horrible mistake of
Watching
watching and
it. See,
getting caught.
I'm not doing that because I know it'll invoke a response.
Did I see that you are a Love Island fan?
As we speak, paused in the background is Lucinda and Sean during the last episode, and they're being cute. I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with Lucinda.
So
She's
you're
doing
like
her
Love Island all franchises? Like
no, just
no, okay.
UK and
Okay.
US.
UK. I want to know like who are your Love Island MVPs?
Well, I'm gonna start with one that won't typically come up in people's brains, but I'm gonna start with my best friend Winston, who was on for about 4 episodes, season one or two. No, season two. And, he didn't find love, but it was still one of my favorite times of life, just seeing him get dodged by woman after woman in Fiji. That to me was so funny. He stands, and okay, let's go. I'm thinking really far back. This is my
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore, and Mount
Okay.
Rushmore have multiple
I
people.
love a Mount Rushmore.
We're going with Caro, who was on like she's big, big, big hair, curly. I loved her. I loved her energy. I think she's just like the most amazing thing ever. We're gonna start with her. Then we're gonna go to Whitney, who's on this season of UK and was on I don't remember which series. I love Whitney. She's giving baddie. I'm obsessed with her. Then we're gonna do Lucinda. I'm obsessed with her. I
Yeah.
think she is deeply misunderstood and she makes me laugh, laugh, laugh. Then I'm gonna go with Selly. I love Selly. I love she got opportunities to do like After Sun.
After Sun, yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a really, really good choice. Who's my fifth one? Oh, no, I don't want to pick her. I changed my mind. Those are my standouts for now. I do
Okay.
have some standout boys. I love, what's his name? Curly hair, was on All Stars, British, Jewish. Eyal Booker.
Mm.
I just
Because
think
there was a really cute curly-headed
that was
Jewish boy this last season, Eli,
Right.
and I loved him.
I loved him too. I'm not going to put him on my Mount Rushmore, but I do love him. And I also just love Jewish representation. There's not nearly enough on reality TV. So to even just see someone that I'm like, oh my God, we probably have really similar upbringings. That's cool. I can tell you who's not on my Mount Rushmore. I have to be honest because he's just like in front of me right now, but Yemen's got to just chill. Like, Yemen's going on a lot of shows and it's not giving authenticity to me. I hope I am wrong. I hope that him and Whitney last the ages, but he bounces around quite a bit. I'm having a real. Are you watching All Stars this season?
So I have it recorded.
Okay.
I have it like queued up, but we're in Traders season. Are you watching Traders all? Because we have Maura and Rob.
So, yeah, we need to talk about that actually. Should we just segue?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay. Here's how I'm feeling about Maura right now. I'm seeing a lot of discourse on the internet of people being like, she's very male centered, like Miss Damsel in Distress will do anything that like Rob says, right? Which I can relate to heavy because that's how I was on Big Brother with Tyler. I mean, like literally all the guys. But to be fair, I was extremely male centered and I was like needing that validation from them. Every time I see a video come up my page of people saying that about Maura, I'm like, this is so not it. Maura literally is not male centered at all. She knew one person going into this. She doesn't know anyone else. She knows one person,
Right.
Rob. She's never going to assume not to trust Rob. And by the way, she doesn't know how this works. Like she literally is here for a short time, not a long time. Somehow she's made it to the end. She was not thinking going into the show, I'm going to be here forever. She wasn't. She just picked a person that she trusts. She's still trying to figure out how the game works. I'm sure she watched one episode before coming in. She's not male-centered. She literally just trusts her friend and she doesn't care, quite frankly. So like the people that keep saying that online, I'm like, guys, like
No, it's a reach.
this is good. It's totally a reach. I would be able to recognize if she was like seeking male validation. That's not what this is. She just does not care and she has a friend. Like
Yeah. Also, he's really convincing and good. Like
beyond.
Yeah, and so I knew that they were going to gravitate towards each other, especially like non-gamers, and they're not used to being in a world where they're with a bunch of strangers like that. So yeah, I could absolutely see like why the attachment's there, but I also, see why she's got the blinders that she has on. She doesn't know Natalie or Tara. She knows Rob, and he said, "I'm not a traitor." So why, and she thinks that she can tell if he's lying. We all would. I mean, he would snow me too. So
I don't know that he would.
I don't know. He's doing so good.
The last episode, though, when Natalie and Maura and Tara were having that conversation, and Maura's like, I don't know why I'm still here. And Natalie's like, exactly. Like, think about it. Like, we are close to him. I was really convinced that was gonna, because that is it. Like, if you're friends with some of the traitor, they're gonna keep.
They're your traitor angel. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I really thought that there was a chance. I gotta tell you though, maybe it's editing, and I hope it is, but Natalie the entire season was not doing it for me. I found her to be very annoying, especially during and very selfish. Let me say that. And it is a self game, I get it, but it is also very collaborative, the game, especially if you're a faithful. Like you have to work together. You need to, you want to make it to the end, but I feel like the beginning is more about let's try to figure this out as a team. And ever since the dinner where Jam Jam was like screaming and got murdered, I didn't like the way Natalie was handling it. I need to drink the thing. I need to drink it. Like not giving anyone a second to speak. It was just, it turned me off a lot.
I mean, I do have some biases here because I literally just watched her season of Survivor before Traders started,
Which
and
is amazing.
I fell in love with her. And
Yeah,
I love a cutthroat player. I love a player like, get your bag, get it. And so, and that moment was so wild and crazy, and the panic that set in and the panic in her eyes, I think it was just so human that like I loved it so much.
I love that you loved it. I think based on our own life experiences, we watch these people different. And I could think back to many people in my life where I found they're being loud and selfish in this moment, and then it triggers. You might see that as like absolute complete strength, owning her fate in it. Like it's just so interesting, all of it.
Yeah.
Of how we see
Which is crazy because I'm the exact opposite. Like in real, when I have
Really?
and I noticed that Rob had the same compartmentalization that I have. I watch these as like purely a game.
Yeah.
When I'm playing game, I work a competitive family. When we're playing games, it's like it's game on.
Yeah.
But in my real life and in my career and stuff like that, I am the one that kind of like sinks back and like I want to make sure everybody gets their piece.
Yeah.
And then I'll come in and get mine. It's very different, but it's game versus outside of game.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. Especially that you're able to like have the duality of that in your own life.
Yeah.
Like some people can't. Like it's just who they are 100% of the time. But that would actually mean that you'd be pretty good at a game. Like at one of the
I think I would. I 1,000% think I would. Traders specifically, I did audition. Like I did submit the application for Traders, but yeah, Traders specifically I would do. But going back to the toxic fan base of it all, I don't have the balls like you to go on a show that's recorded in real time. No, I need it to be pre-recorded. I need to be home, seated on my social media with my family, guarding my house when the fans actually get access to my footage.
I feel like you could do Big Brother. You could do it. You say that you can't, but then when you're like, when you begin to realize when you come off the show that like it's just noise, and as long as your friends and family still love you, it's so irrelevant. It really is.
That was fun. I do want to talk about what you were doing now because it's one of the things like I'm so obsessed with your content. One of the things I love most about it is your openness and your relatability. I personally suffer from severe anxiety attacks. It's something I've struggled with my entire life. So I just want to thank you for making the content that you do because it is very validating. And you give like we're gonna get to your pep talks in a minute. We want you to give us a Kaitlyn pep talk for something, but you've been open about anxiety and your IgA deficiency. For those who don't know, can you explain a little bit more about what IgA deficiency is and how it affects you?
Sure, yeah. So I have something called selective IgA deficiency, which means that essentially all of my mucous membranes like are attacking itself at any given moment. So I'm susceptible to any and all mucous membrane infection. So that would be strep, bronchitis, pneumonia, tonsillitis. Also, I hate to get personal, but your vagina is a mucous membrane. Like anywhere that produces mucus, I'm more susceptible to infection. It's also linked to like a connective tissue disorder that I have, which is called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So that affects my joints, my jaw, most specifically. Blood flow, my hands, my feet, all of that stuff. So if you had asked me this a few years ago, my answer would be quite different as to like how it affects my life. Now, because I have a really good grasp on how I'm experiencing it mentally, I'd say the worst would be just like a day where I'm extremely tired, and that would be that. But the way I get through any and all chronic illness, or even just worried about something else coming up, is honestly just deeply in my faith, like of trusting that this was chosen for me, and that everything about what I'm experiencing is perfect. And even in the moments where I'm in a lot of pain or I'm feeling really useless because I can't do much, I know it's exactly what I'm meant to be experiencing. So yeah, that's that.
Wow. So did any of that affect you? Like, again, I'm not a doctor or anything. So, but like, were you more susceptible to COVID? Like during the COVID, what was the COVID era like for you?
So, I mean, I was one of those what did they call them? Like the people that were allowed to get it first, like no, not susceptible, the compromised, like the immune.
Compromised. Yes.
So I was able to like get the vaccine, with like old people and stuff. But I also really was very serious about protocol. So because of that, so I wasn't out there like messing around with it. I did get COVID, and for some people, when they got COVID, it was like, oh, like I got a cough. Like mine was like the really serious, one.
Oh, wow.
I didn't have to go to the hospital, but ultimately, like I'm gonna be honest, like COVID didn't feel like anything out of the norm
Oh,
me, because I'm used to getting like that kind of sick. Yeah, it sucked. It absolutely sucked.
yeah.
But yeah, I have to be more careful about certain things.
Okay.
Sure.
So those habits were already just kind of integrated for
Yeah.
like, it wasn't like learning new lifestyles. Got
Yeah.
it. Did any of these things, but whether it's the deficiency or anxiety, how did that affect you in the house? Because you said if you had asked me back then, like your state was different. What was that
Yeah.
like for you, and how did it affected you in the Big Brother house?
Well, I had been diagnosed with the IgA deficiency when I first got out of college. And then, so I was 21. And then I got on Big Brother when I was 24. So I had already kind of, and with my spiritual journey, had cultivated this way of thinking that helped alleviate mentally what I was experiencing physically. Because when you're not feeling well, obviously the mental aspect is a big part of it too. So weirdly enough, though, when I was in the Big Brother house, well, funny enough, I did get sick the first week before live feeds come on. Everyone got sick. Literally everyone got sick. Apparently that's like a normal thing though, because it's a bunch of new people in a house. You're stuck, like a lot of new germs, a lot of new things. So any of the cold or cough medicines are like basically gone by the first week. They obviously restock it, but our season specifically, literally everyone was sick. And then when I started to get sick, I got called to the diary room. Again, this is before live feeds. And when you go in the diary room, no one's there. It's just the camera. But I go in there and the doctor was in there. I'm forgetting his name, but we had like a male physician, and which was different from the psychiatrist. But he was in there and I was like, hi. And he's like, and one of the producers was also like talking on the thing. And they were like, okay, so Kaitlyn, you're sick, which is like not the same as like someone else being sick. Are you okay? We think it would be best if we give you kind of like a steroid injection. I was like, yeah, literally pop it on me. I don't give a shit. So then one of the female executive producers had to come in because like I was like, yeah, like let's do it. Like rolling on my arm. He's like,
no, it's tushy.
We need your, and I was like, oh, sick. Like pulled my pants down, and they're like, can we wait for Sean to come in? And I was like, yeah, whatever. So he injected.
He's like, I'm not trying to catch an accusation or a charge.
He was he's literally the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
I remembered his name, but so yeah, he injects me in the ass, and then the big thing is like you're not supposed to talk about what you experience in the diary room when you go out. But again, it was like we were still going through like trial and errors. Like they would say like, remember, like you can't, like on the loudspeaker and shit like that. So when I came out, even though they were like, don't tell anyone, I literally walked out, I go, I just got injected in the tush. And everyone was dying. And the thing came on like, Kaitlyn. And I was like, sorry, I didn't mean to. And they're like, if this has to happen again during the season, you can't come out and be like, I was just injected in the ass. And I was like, got it. Clocked it, got it. But
yeah.
So that's
Noted.
the time that like I was really affected by being sick. But I will say what affected me more was my ADHD, which I've been diagnosed since I'm 10. And I've been in, like when I was in high school and middle school, I was in resource room. I had time and a half on my tests. Like that was a very big part of my educational journey. So coming off the show, one of the most beautiful parts of being shown the things that are unhealed was the way I felt around the puzzle. Because, for everyone else saying 2 minutes and 30 seconds, like such a long amount of time, it's such a dumb puzzle. Agreed. That being said, added with the pressure and this and then the next, the truth was I couldn't do it. Like I literally couldn't do it. And that kills nobody more than me, because I'm being shown in real time the struggles I have with putting things together in my brain. Like, I mentioned this on a different podcast once, I think, but one of the tests for ADHD is like putting what they like time you and they watch you put puzzles together, different shapes and whatever. And it's not about the time that you do it, it's about how you do it and what you're grabbing. That shows if you have it. And that was always my hardest thing. Like, I can't look at things the way other people look at things and be like, that goes there and that goes there. Like, that just doesn't, it takes me a really long time. And you know, I'm on medication, and I was on the medication during the show, but also medication weans off at around 4 p.m. for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm doing this puzzle, like when I think back, and I'm not medicated, and I'm also really anxious. And at the end of the day, like, the inner child in me, that was what I had to work on the most. Forget the emotionally cheating and needing validation from the men. The hardest part was me being like, I couldn't do it. And like, my brain doesn't work like that. And feeling this, also this desire to like stand up for my inner child, being like, I should have been allocated more time. Like, I know your intern did it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but I've had double time my whole life. Like, my friends were loving that when that all happened. Like, they were tweeting like, she has a, whatever the thing is, like a 5-9, I don't know what the
IEP.
Yeah, like, she has an IEP. Like, she would deserved an extra 2 minutes. Like, that was, you know, and that was funny. Like, we laughed at that. That my ADHD affected me the most in that.
I think it's very, I think a lot of people don't know unless you experience or you have, I have ADHD. I have ADD. I'm sorry. I'm the mother of 2 boys with ADHD. And they're 2 completely different flavors. So my oldest is also on the spectrum. Again, I think ADHD, and autism are both like, they're a spectrum. Like, everyone's flavor is a little different. My flavor is the drink graveyard by my bed, or the hyper focusing on a certain project and everything else gets neglected. My son, my youngest, he excels in school. He excels in structure. He excels at puzzles and chess. Whereas my oldest, he might be able to do a puzzle. Then once you start the timer, what's a puzzle? So I completely get it. I totally get it.
Tell me this. Do your sons play together? Like, my parents always told me, because I don't really, well, I do kind of remember, but growing up, my brother and I would go sit down. Oh, what happened here? Oh, sorry, something popped up for me. My brother and I would go sit down to like play a game, and I'd be like, yeah, Matthew, I'll play with you. 5 minutes into it, I get up. And he would be like, she did it again. Like, she promised me she'd play, which literally breaks my heart. Like, thinking about him as like a little boy and me being like, bye, when like, it wasn't to be mean. My attention was just done. I could not sit there anymore. I had to move on to the next thing. I'm wondering if your boys, if they play together, like, the other one will just be like, no, I'm done.
When they were very little, a little bit.
Yeah.
They're 15 and 12 now. But when they were very little, I'm talking like toddler and older toddler. That was about it. And then I think my oldest is very introverted, where my youngest is very extroverted. My oldest, his love language is words of affirmation and like one-on-one time, whereas my youngest is quality time. He wants the whole family and everybody to do everything at the same time, do the same thing. So they're just very different. 2 different flavors of wonderful, but they're just very, very different in that way.
Yeah, no,
but I could absolutely see my oldest like bouncing, like, okay, this was cool for a second, and then like
totally
bouncing. It's crazy. I mean, I think that there's just a lot that people hear it, and I think they just think, oh, you're hyper. That just means you're bouncing off the walls, and there's just so much more to it.
Similarly to you, like, they changed the verbiage of it in the last few years, so now technically it all falls under ADHD. But when I was diagnosed, it was just ADD. Like, I didn't have the hype. I don't have that hyper part. But funny enough, also just to add, as I've gotten older, there's a link between ADHD, autism, and connective tissue autoimmune stuff. So that's been really interesting. If either of your sons begins to get jaw pain, grind their teeth at night, posture issues, or blood flow, their feet are cold, their hands are cold, you should know that that is absolutely connected to the ADHD. And they might be hypermobile. If any of I have hypermobility, if any of them can do weird things with their hands, they're a little bit more bendy, flexy. That's all connected, all of it.
That checks all of my oldest boxes. He has constant jaw issues. His jaw pops out
Yep.
of like the little socket thing, and he gets like what we called like these lockjaw episodes.
Yep.
And then yeah, so that's wild. That's crazy.
Does he have a mouth guard, a night guard, or a mouth guard?
He has one. We've
Yeah.
spent a lot of money on it.
Of
Does he
course.
use it? I don't think so. But he does grind his teeth and
Tell him, because I wish I could go back and like tell my younger self, because I would grind my teeth at night, but it never hurt. So like I didn't like I'd wake up and I'm not in pain. As soon as I hit, it was one morning I woke up January of 2020 and I was in the most pain of my life, and I've been in pain ever since. So like if you can prevent doing more damage to that joint by just wearing the guard at night, he is saving himself thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars as an adult,
okay.
trying to heal that. So just he's going to be pissed because he's going to be like a full-fledged adult, and TMJ jaw stuff is not covered by health insurance. So he will turn into me. I've spent at least 60-70 grand on pain because none of this is covered by health insurance, none. So, and that's throughout the last like 5 years. So any dollar I've made has gone towards not being in pain. Tell him, honey, if you want to have a nice house one day and do good things, maybe wear your night guard.
So are you doing career coaching? You doing life coaching, spiritual coaching?
Yeah, so I'm a life coach. I'd say most of my clients are people that come to me because they're in some sort of deep funk or pause in their life where they're like, I'm not fulfilled in whatever department that could be. It could be in their relationship, within themselves, with their career, where they live, and they're just looking for that extra guidance. But I've said this before, I'll say it again. A life coach is not someone that gives advice. So if you are ever looking for a life coach and you end up finding one and they're just spitting advice at you, please run the other direction. They are a self-glorified life coach. That's not what a coach is. I'm certified through the International Coaching Federation, the ICF. It's the only accredited like union for coaches. And it's my job to ask you questions to make you realize that you have the answers. I know fucking nothing. I know nothing. But I do know how to guide someone into realizing everything that they need to know about themselves, because we know everything and we have all of the wisdom within us. We just get blocked kind of before when we were starting and you were talking about the fears and the voices. We get very claustrophobic with those things that it becomes extremely hard to hear what the truth is. I'm helping you get to the truth, if that makes sense.
Got it. So what is the biggest difference between like that and like going to a therapist or a counselor?
Great question. So a therapist is extremely past based. You're going into a lot. You can show up with a current issue, but your therapist is trained to figure out what happened in the past that's leading to this moment. What can we heal from the past to bring you here? Which a lot of people need that work. I've been in therapy before. There's a lot of unhealed things from childhood, which is where everything comes from, that needs to be addressed. Whereas with coaching, it's who are you today? Who do you want to be? How can I hold you accountable of getting there? Yes, we're going to end up talking about some stuff naturally from your past, but I'm not overanalyzing when you come to me how the relationship with your dad is affecting you today. It is more about, where is the relationship with your dad? Where do you want it to be? How can I hold you accountable of getting there? And if things change along the way, it's almost like a personal trainer at a gym, but for life. Like you might come to me and be like, I want to lose 15 pounds. Okay. That goal might change throughout the way. Once we start realizing, maybe you're like, oh, I actually love my body at 15 pounds, but I want to gain more muscle. Wonderful. We shift and we we go with what you're feeling in the moment, and we just have you soar from that point on. It's all about present and future.
Got it. So it's like a
Yeah.
support system, but
Yeah.
amped.
But
Amped.
amped, but very amped. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, typically we have this section, this segment called Confessional Corner, where we like do these like fake diary room confessions. But because you're so gifted at this stuff, I thought it would be great if for your confessional corner you gave a pep talk. Auditions are open for Big Brother right now, and I thought it would be great if you could give just a quick pep talk to anyone who is thinking about applying or wants to go on the show but is feeling anxious and not so sure.
Okay, that's a great question. You hear like the classic responses that all Big Brother alumni say, where they're like, "Just be yourself and like do it. You have nothing to lose. Like it's you should just go and have fun and whatever." Um, on a very deep level, you need to feel aligned with the why of why you want to audition in a very deep way before auditioning. Um, I would say detach more from how am I going to show up or what if they don't like me, and focus more on what would the opportunity do for you? Like, what would it do for your confidence? Picture as if you've already gotten on. Why is that driving you? Is it because, and you have to get honest with yourself, is it because you want to be famous? Is it because you want to prove something to yourself? Is it because you've just always wanted to play the game? Like, really, what is it? Hone in on that, be a part of it, and then send the audition. Then send the audition. I don't do it after, or don't go to it after. Really think and manifest and daydream what it would be like to be on the show, why you want to be on the show, and then visualize yourself literally on it, through the good and the bad, and then picture yourself getting off the show, getting all of the tweets. I mean, take yourself literally from beginning to end, and then audition if it feels aligned and good with you. But when people just blindly send things without connecting to the vision of what that could actually be like, it's almost giving that you're actually not ready for the opportunity. I think whether you believe in God or the universe or whatever, or just energy, God and the creator and the universe responds to excitement and to joy. And if you take even just 10 minutes before sending that audition to really like sit in solace or meditation or whatever and picture the excitement of like walking in that door and feeling what it feels like to be there, the way you show up in your interview is going to be different because you've experienced that. Does that make sense?
It does. It's fantastic advice. It was amazing. I should have heard that before I put in my traders.
But also, let me tell you that, again, I said this earlier, everything you do is perfect at any given moment. Even things that like you're like, fuck, I wish I could go back and redo it. Nope. That's exactly how it was supposed to be. That was exactly, you were supposed to hear this at this time. Maybe it'll be for another opportunity. Maybe you still get on the traders. Who knows? Maybe you then take it for before you get into the trader's house and you take that moment. But to really allow yourself to get to a point where you believe that you are worthy of being on a show like this. You are worthy of the experience. And not only that, you let go of the expectation of what you're meant to learn from the experience. Like really getting to a place where you're like, I mean, like before I went on Big Brother, I knew that there was a chance that I was going to be very unliked. I'm a Long Island Jewish girl that's very spiritual. Like, I don't resonate with the middle of America viewer. I just don't. So, like, really being comfortable in your own skin and your own body, knowing I'm open to criticism. I'm open to not being adored. I'm open to seeing myself in a different way coming off of it. And then I just like randomly stood on a line and then like got on the show. Like it makes no sense. Literally it makes no sense that I got on. But I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I allowed myself to say I'm ready for the spectrum of the experience, even if it's bad.
Well, speaking of getting on the show, I have to ask, so what is your origin story? Like how did it happen? How did you
Yeah.
were you watching before? What?
So yeah,
Okay.
I had been watching the show since season 15. It was
Oh, what
I
a season to start.
literally what a season to start. I was interning for my cousin who lives in LA that summer, and he was watching Big Brother 3 nights a week. And my friend and I both came out to intern for him in his music company. And he was watching the show 3 nights a week. And I'm like, we might as well watch it with him. Like, let's bond with him. And we became obsessed. And in the first episode, I was like, oh, I could do this. I could be on this. It just became like a joke. And then 4 years later, I moved back to LA. I'm living with my cousin because I had just moved. I had just become a certified coach. I didn't have money. I was working at like a Pure Bar studio and a tanning salon, just trying to like make money. And I found out that there was going to be an open casting call because one of the girls that used to work at the tanning salon was now doing casting. So I overheard the girls talking one day about like Big Brother, and I was like, I'm addicted to Big Brother. It's my favorite show. And they're like, one of the girls, the girl that you took her job, essentially, because they needed a replacement for someone that would do spray
Yeah.
tanning. They're like, that's what she does. Like, we'll find out when it is for you. So they get back to me of like when the open call is. And I was like, that's so LA. Like, that's such an LA thing to do. Like, I moved to LA and now I'm going to go to an open call. And honestly, the only reason I went was because I thought there was a chance I'd see like former players. Like, that's the only, I was like,
Okay.
Paul will be there. Like, I was so like interested in that. But then it was also full circle. It was like, well, I'm living with Steve, my cousin. We started watching the show together. Like, that'll be a fun thing for me to do and then go home and talk to Steve about it. So I went and they just never stopped calling me. It never stopped. It
Amazing.
never stopped. It never
How
stopped.
many interviews did you have?
So the open call, it's like you stand in front of the casting person, which mine was Danny, who's one of my closest friends now. Danny interviewed like 5 of us at a time, or like 6 of us at a time.
Mhm.
And we had like a second to speak. Like it wasn't even that deep. But Rob and Cass happened to be like sitting in on the back of ours. And I remember the question was like, what do you feel like you have to do to win the game? And this girl that spoke right before me, she was like very out there, blonde bombshell. And she was like, you have to be a fucking bitch to like win this game. Like you need to be cutthroat. And Danny's like, okay, Kaitlyn, you. And I was like, well, respectfully, I think that there's a way to win this game with cultivating like an amount of love and light. And Robin Cass is in the background and she starts fake yawning at me. She's like, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm 90% love and light and 10% go fuck yourself. So this isn't going to be like boring for you. And she woke up. She like fully woke up. And Danny's like, good, very good. So then they called me for the next thing, which was semifinals, which was a solo interview with a camera. It's just Danny and Mark, who was the other casting producer, who is, again, they were here like a few nights ago. They're sitting, cameras on me, and they're just asking a lot of things. That was maybe about an hour. And then a few weeks later, found out about finals, which I didn't have to fly in for because I lived in LA.
Mhm.
But you start to notice in finals that like the first day you're there, you are in like what looks like a lecture hall in college, and you're doing like your psych eval and you meet with medical. And I just remember there was like a lot of things about me where they were trying to like figure it out. Like
Mm.
they were like, what do we do? Like also at that time, like they had had issues with house guests bringing in their stimulants for
Mhm.
ADHD. So like they were like, where do we stand with this? Like nobody prior to me had a regulated medicine in the diary room every day kind of thing. They just kind of like caught them. So you could tell there was like a lot of that. And I'm like, I don't fucking know if they're going to have me on here. As the week started to pass, you started to notice during like gym time or like because you had a slot to go to the gym or to eat at the bar, you just began to notice that there were less and less people. And then on the last day, which I didn't know was the last day, they're like, okay, we're leaving the hotel. We need you like in the lobby at whatever time. So I'm in the lobby with like 16 other people, and we go in a van and we don't know where we're going, but we ended up going to the lot. And that's when we were all separated in this big room. And the only people from my season that were in that room were me out of the 16, me, Casey, JC, Haley, Swaggy, Scotty. but like all at separate tables, like separated from each other. And one at a time, we were called to go out and go upstairs, and we had every executive producer in front of us and a camera, and that was it. We had to talk to the camera, and that was it. They're like, you'll hear back from us. And I remember JC went before me, and I was waiting to go in right after JC, and he walked out of the room with like a catered sandwich. So I was like, what's going on? Like, and one of the handlers was laughing, and they're like, did you just get a sandwich? Like, that was like the producer's lunch. And I guess JC asked for a sandwich. So he's like walking out with a sandwich, and I'm like, what's going on? Okay.
He hit up the food service table.
Literally. So then I walked in, and you know what's really interesting? I'll never forget the question they asked me, because they didn't ask much. Like, it was a very quick, I think they just wanted to see you on camera. But one of the women who I don't know personally, she asked me, she said, if you think that everything is happening for the highest good, what would you say to someone that's really defeated by like what's happening in the world? This is when Trump first became president.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited to answer that question because I knew the answer. I felt the answer, which I was like, I appreciate. You can tell that they were trying to like fucking stump me, right?
Right,
I was like, good
right.
luck. I was like, I'll tell you right now that I'm finding with this presidency that there's such a shift in people that care. Like, I was not a political person before this. All of my friends, like, no one voted. Like, we did not care. And now people,
Back when politics were boring and they didn't affect
right,
our like
exactly.
day-to-day lives.
Yeah, I was like, think about the amount of people that are being awakened from this. I'm not saying that everything good is going to happen here, but like, if that's going to change and wake up I don't know, like the minds of all these people, like, that is happening purposely. And I'm not going to be upset by the fact that maybe a bad person to some is a good person to others. Doesn't matter. People are waking up to their own opinions. And like, that's very important. And they were like, okay. And I was like, all right, bye, see ya. And then left. And then that was it.
I love that so much because you're right. It activated us. It activated us as millennials. It activated, down to Gen Alpha is going to be the one that saves the world.
Totally.
It's how we produced all these like little honey badgers that are going to, be the people warriors.
Yes.
Looking back on it, like, what do you wish that viewers got that like the edit didn't show? Like, what was like the most common misunderstanding? Where did the edit fuck you?
I'm going to be honest. It didn't.
Okay.
I was worse. The edit was generous. And I say that with so much compassion for that version of myself and my younger self. Yeah, I think I was worse. I think I was needier than it came across. I really was not in there being strategic. I was literally in there feeling like I was at sleepaway camp with my friends. There was not an ounce of strategy in my bones. The only thing that I can think of, because people think it was like a lot of the things I did were random, like flipping on like the first week when I decided to evict Steve instead of Sam, and I love Steve, and people thought that it was because Tyler or people just thought like Tyler told me what to do and I did it. That's the only thing that was not in the edit that very much upset me, which was, and I didn't realize wasn't in the edit until I watched it. Tyler had told me, which in the rules, like in the actual rules of Big Brother, you can't lie about your power if you're telling someone about your power. And we've all read the rules, like there's nothing else to read. So I never would have assumed that I was being lied to when told about power. So Tyler had come to me when it was the first week, and it's like right before the vote between Sam and Steve, maybe like the morning of, Tyler said to me, you can't vote out Sam. And I was like, why? Like, that's what my friends are voting. I don't really like her that much. Like, we're voting out Sam. And I love Steve. He's like, you can't do it. And I was like, why? And he's like, because Sam has a power and it's not going to be good if you vote her out. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you and everyone that votes out Sam are going to be at risk if you vote out Sam. And I'm like, what do you, so whatever the power was, he was saying to me, he goes, Sam told me about what her power is. And I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to protect you in this moment. I don't care about Fessy, Haley, whatever. I'm telling you that if you vote out Sam, your game is at risk personally. So now I'm thinking to myself, so I'm like, I'm like, Sam's power is going to affect the people that vote her out, thinking like, well, what if it then switches and one of us get evicted? Like whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's what he's getting at with me. So now he knows.
What was he talking about?
He wasn't.
It's been a minute.
Making it up.
He was just making. Oh, okay.
Sam did have a power, which we learned was a bonus life of sorts, which I ended up was my demise because I did her puzzle. But the point was, if she got out that first week, she would use her power, which she had gotten, and because only Tyler knew that she had the powers, and now Tyler was telling me, and Tyler spooked me enough to, because he knew that if I heard that me voting out Sam would affect me and all of my friends that voted her out, I wouldn't be able to do it. Because even though, and at that point I was getting a little upset with my group because they were leaving me out a lot. Like they would, and that wasn't really shown either. Like they were having like private conversations really late and like never including me. And then that's when I found out from Tyler that Swaggy said I'm like the bottom of the totem pole of the group. So now you have Tyler coming to me saying, I know you're not really like fucking with your friends right now. I'm going to tell you this. You can't vote her out because this might ruin your game. And also, I know you have a lot of empathy and like you don't really want to ruin their game either. So I'm like, I guess I have to vote out Steve. And part of me was like, no, maybe I still vote out Sam because I kind of want to fuck them over. Like they're on the bottom of the totem pole, but I could not do it. And Tyler knew I wasn't going to be able to do it. So me voting out Steve in that moment for me was like, I'm doing the right thing by me and my alliance because apparently her power is going to like fuck us up. Had nothing to do with like, it was all about that. So then, you know, I vote out Steve. My alliance is shocked. I'm sad because I love Steve. I don't know what the power is still because Sam didn't have to use it. Fine, moving on. But now I'm HOH. Now I become head of household. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing now? Like, and there's still that momentum of like, I think I'm at the bottom of the totem pole with my alliance. Plus now Sam owes me a big one. Like there was so much. So I think the first week really cemented my trajectory in the game. Had I voted to evict Sam, I would have seen what her power was. She would have done the puzzle. Maybe she would have stayed, maybe she wouldn't have, but it would have showed me Tyler lied about all of that. I would have become head of household. I would have put Tyler up. So like everything changed in that week for me. And that's the only thing. But then after that, I was still like, yeah, I'm obsessed with Tyler. Like, so it really didn't matter. But
I mean, he's very charming and
he was so charming. And he made me feel like he really cared about me.
He seems to have that energy. Like I've noticed that, like you could see it through the feeds that, and now I've seen him, like he's done a few other things and it's loving seeing Dad Tyler right now.
Listen, I will tell you, him and I are not in touch, but I grappled with a very long time of like the manipulation that he placed on me because he knew I liked him. He knew I had a boyfriend at home. He knew I liked him. He didn't need to go as far as he did with me with things that are not shown, you know, holding my hand under the blanket, things like that, to reel me in more. If that was for game, like seeing him become America's favorite player was really yucky for me at the end of it. Because like really we need to do that in order to be celebrated. Like it was pretty, I totally forgive and I'm at complete rest with that. But yeah, only thing as going back to the edit, the only thing I wish was shown was him lying to me about what that was.
Yeah.
Because that changed
did get a very, very much a golden boy at it. And for the record, I'm all for like hardcore gameplay. I don't think that emotional manipulation needs to be ever a part of this game. So
It's not
I
original,
completely
and it's
no.
also like it was
It's low hanging fruit.
very much. My parents were my dad especially was very, very upset with that. He's like, because I
Yeah.
see man to man what's happening here, and like it's not. He's like, he could have felt all the ways about you that he told you, but it doesn't matter because he's playing to the camera like he doesn't.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a weird, fucking weird time. I'm so happy he's a dad. Like that, he seems happy from like what I can see.
He has definitely a different. I didn't keep up with him a whole lot after Big Brother. I covered the show, but he isn't one of like from your cast that like I gravitated towards. But then he kind of drifted off, which is that's great. But I did notice this. You know, he started doing more interviews and stuff leading up to his appearance on the worst thing that Big Brother's ever done in Big Brother history with Rachel's the Wheel of Death. Yeah. But he was doing a lot of like interviews around that and everything. Everyone wanted to talk to him, and I could just notice a completely different change in his demeanor and his energy.
I think there's something really beautiful about like my boyfriend. He lost his dad when he was young, and I'm so excited for the day that we have children and he can be a father. I think there's something really healing to a child that loses a parent than becoming a parent. And I'm just so glad that he has a child. Like I think that he's probably, not that I've spoken to him about it, but I'm sure he's in a place in his life where he feels like he's in his purpose.
Okay, so speaking, I know that you said that you don't talk to who from your season 20 cast do you still talk to, if anyone?
Yeah, I mean, Winston is my best friend, which is so funny because when my boyfriend and I watched my season, which was like a few months ago, like we had never watched it.
Oh wow.
The intro, like Winston and the guns, like he's so like not at all my like type of person. But I will tell you, and we were not in an alliance together. I will tell you this, and him and I can both attest to this. The second I gave him a hug in that house and I met him, there was something in it that felt like like we've done this before. Whether you were like my brother in a past life, I don't know what it was, but it just was, despite all of the differences between us. And he lives in San Diego now, and he's an amazing friend. I'd like to think I'm an amazing friend to him. And he's really family to me. He is family. Rachel and I, she's like my best girlfriend from off the show. Listen, I love her so much. She's the worst at keeping in touch. I mean, we talk at least a few times a month, but it's not at like the regularity of Winston and I. Honorable mentions, I love Scotty. Him and I are in touch a lot in like the DMs. We text. Anytime he's in town, we see each other. But aside from them, not a single person at this point.
No one else.
Okay. No one else. And that's okay. That's by choice at this point. Oh, actually, I will say, no, I'm going to take that back. Haley and I also very much have our rapport, and I love her very, very much. I will always have a very special place for Haley in my heart. Yeah, she's a doll. Like it's the same thing with Scotty. Like Haley and I talk a decent amount. If I FaceTimed Haley right now, like that wouldn't be weird. Like we have that kind of relationship. Yeah, I love her a lot. But no, aside from those.
Is there anyone that wasn't on your season, but from other seasons that you've got close with since the game?
Josh, Paul, and Elena. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great trio. I love Elena.
Yeah, I mean, Elena's the sister at this point too. Like she'll be at my wedding. Like I like to think of it of who's going to be invited to my wedding, kind of thing. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm obsessed with Josh, by the way.
Yeah.
Like in a big way.
He's like, I'm so happy for him. He's out there.
I'm loving it.
Driving. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like anyone else that really is like a standout. Oh, who am I kidding? Tommy, like one of my best friends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
Tommy.
it's so hard though because honestly, like these are my friends, and it's hard to
Hmm.
remember. Like, oh yeah, you were
That
on my
they were on the show too.
yeah, so funny. Um,
By the way, I feel like you would appreciate this. I don't know if you ever saw this TikTok of mine, but I had the most vivid, wild dream involving Josh. And it was probably about a year ago, maybe a
okay,
little less than a year ago. And we were going out. We were at a Mi Casina in
okay,
this gorgeous patio.
yeah,
And I will wake up and remember some dreams and like maybe bits and pieces, but I woke up having such a vivid memory of this dream that I just had to record immediately
yeah.
to tell Josh this in a TikTok. But we were at Mi Casina and we were having Mambo taxis, and he was telling me something. But the part about him telling me about an upcoming opportunity or a show that he was being presented with, that he was really struggling with it. And I didn't know any details. I don't remember the fuzziness of it. But he was telling me, he's like, I'm just not really sure if I should do it or not. And I said, Josh, just fucking do it. You're gonna
Wow.
crush it. Just fucking do it. And so I posted this video and I was like, so Josh, like as much as I literally dream about having Mambo taxis with you in real life, this was the conversation we had. So if it means anything to you, he commented, he's like, oh my gosh, it actually does. And then didn't hear anything else. And
Are
so then
you
when
are
he,
you generally an intuitive person?
yes, yeah.
That's like really beautiful. Into, I mean, like Josh for a very long time would tell me that I need to look into Kabbalah, which is something he grew up doing. Have you heard of Kabbalah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
like Josh, I guess his family, like they grew up and I'm like, I thought Kabbalah was a Jewish thing. And he's like, it is a Jewish thing, but my Latino family grew like they've been going to Kabbalah forever. And he grew up doing it. And I just remember thinking over the last few years, like, I should like look into this. Like I should look into even what this is. Now my boyfriend and I are like in Kabbalah classes, like in Beverly Hills at the Kabbalah Center. And I told Josh about it. Obviously, I'm like, this is all because of you. My life, the way I'm thinking about things has totally changed. I feel like you'd love it. Like, just
Okay.
it's basically like ancient, like Jewish wisdom and spirituality and like mysticism. But ultimately, like the classes are about like how you experience life and how to be just like much more present and honest and just it changes your whole life, your relationships. It's like the most beautiful spiritual thing ever. And I have to thank Josh for it. So the fact that you had like a spiritual experience that was rooted in Josh, I feel like maybe you should look into
Maybe that's why. Oh well. Uh yeah, I absolutely love Josh. I've had a soft spot for him ever since his season. His season was rough, but he was another one that like postseason, I was like, I protect this man at all cost.
totally. He's a lovely person.
Yes. And when people, I go hard for him in my comment section sometimes, and especially in lives where people are like, oh, Josh, I was like, you've clearly only have seen his season and know nothing else about him. And I'll tell other reality content creators, it's like, if you want to see the Josh that I see, watch his seasons of The Challenge.
Yeah.
Watch his social media, because that's when you see he is a big teddy bear
Josh is
and a
the
lover.
perfect example of I do this thing sometimes when I find that I'm like judging someone where I look at them and picture them as a kid, and it helps like very much like get out of that judgment because we're all just fucking children that grew up and don't know what to do. Um and Josh is the easiest person to look at as a kid and to like have empathy for everything he says, everything he does. Like he's just a kid that's growing up. Like we've never grown up before, guys. Like we just are kids making mistakes. And I love watching Josh as an adult, but thinking about him as his inner
As a
child.
kid. Yeah. I had no idea what was being said, but I did cry at his video of him telling his grandma that he was going on this show, and
Literally
I had no idea what they were saying, but like I was crying because I felt it.
Yeah,
Just felt it.
It was the feeling for us. Yeah.
It was a feeling. Okay, so I want to play one last little game. This is my version of Marry, Fuck, Kill, but we're going to put you back in the Big Brother house for a little bit. And I'm going to give you a trio of players. You're going to tell me, if you had to do it all over again, which one you would align with, which one you would immediately target, and which one you would string along just to backstab later.
Perfect.
Okay, so the starting trio is Tyler, Haley, Fessy.
Okay. I'd align with Haley.
Okay.
In a deeper way than ever before. Ooh, that makes me want to cry. Like, I don't know why that just came over me so deeply, but like to think about how different my response would be at that point in my life. Like when I have so much, my fucking frontal lobe is developed now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah.
24. I'm 31 now. Like, my appreciation for just women in general has deepened so much throughout the years. But I would align with, this is easy for me. I would align with Haley. What are the two options? String along and then?
Target immediately and then backstab. So target and backstab.
I would target immediately Fessy just because I don't need it. Like I don't care for it. I don't need it. And especially I'm aligned with Haley. Like that's your ex. Like we are fully married now. Like we don't even need Fessy in the breathing space of us at this current moment. So Fessy would just be like immediately targeted, and I would for sure backstab Tyler. Yeah.
Tyler. The next trio is Rockstar, Angela, and Swaggy.
Okay. This is tough because now like real world things are coming into the answer. Okay, so I would immediately target Angela, simply for the fact that, like, because of the real world things, like, not in touch, like, never really was, don't really have any emotional pull towards her. I would align with Rockstar. There's a difference between my mind and my heart. Because my heart wants to align with Rockstar, but my mind says to align with Swaggy. But no, I'll align with Rockstar and I'll backstab.
Respectable.
Or string along Swaggy, yeah.
Okay, the last one is Bailey, Sam, and Brett.
This is really hard. I'm like right off of it, because also I haven't listen, I love Brett. We were very good friends for a long time, in touch just as much as me and Winston. That's changed. We haven't spoken, I'd say, in over a year and a half. He lives elsewhere. He has a different life. But he is really smart. Okay, well, I know we are first certain immediately targeting Sam. I'm just simply not, unless the caveat is, are these people all the same that they once were?
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
so for this one, let's put you now, but back then.
Okay, so what I know now, back then, but they're all the same. Okay. Okay. Then I would, if they're all the same, then I align with Brett. I send home Bailey and I string along Sam.
Okay.
If I'm different, they're all the same. Yeah.
The same. Yeah, we can time travel for that one. That is great.
Well,
it was a hard one, which is why it was last. I am so grateful for you and the work that you do. I love like how just healing your content is for me personally and for I know many other people. So I really, really appreciate this was everything that I hoped it could have been and more. So just thank you for being real and authentic, which is just not hard for you at all. So I really appreciate you for going beyond the edit with me. I absolutely adore you. So please tell everyone where they can find you and your handles, what you're doing now. How can they keep up with you?
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Kaitlyn_Herman. I usually post stories when I'm taking new one-on-one clients, which I am starting next month. If that's something that you feel called to, you might not even understand what that means to have a life coach, but I do free 30-minute sessions, like an evaluation of sorts to even see if we're a good fit. So if that's something you're just feeling like this little whisper of, I want to change the way I experience life and I want to be happier and I want to feel more aligned, just shoot me an email. You can also go to my website, katecoaching.com, and you can fill out like a application form so I can be in touch with you to see if you're interested. I do have a bunch of like cool things coming out, but I can't really talk about it.
Dang it. So, okay.
No TV shows. No TV shows.
No TV show. Okay.
My own businesses and things like that. So yeah, there's a way to find me if you want to find me.
Okay.
I encourage you to, because I love connecting with people.
Well, thank you. All right, friends. Well, that is our episode. I want to give a huge shout out to our newest Patreons, our newest HOH tiers, Allison and Mandy. Thank you so much. And a huge shout out to our latest house guest, Carrie, Jenny, Luke, Ashley, Tay, and Sharon. Your support makes this possible, so thank you again. Thank you so much for going beyond the edit with me today. Until next time.